I want to go across live and across to my colleague Padmaja Joshi. She's at the residence of O. Selvam. Preparations underway to see what the Supreme Court has in store. Let's see what's happening at OPS's house this morning. Padmaja, take it away.
So when it comes to OPS fans, everything is fair game, including this auto rickshaw, which is plastered with posters not just of MGR, of Jayalalitha, also Deepa Jaykumar now, and the man who these people think is a worthy successor for Jayalalitha and MGR's legacy. So it's a practical carnival here today outside the house of O. Selvam. You see people here who are here to felicitate him. They're quite confident that he is going to be the next chief minister, no questions asked. So plenty of drama here. You can see these pamphlets which are being distributed, pamphlets which say that O. Selvam is a very decent person and he is the one who is most likely to take over from Jayalalitha and not Sasikala. This warrior sword also, they say they are going to present it to OPS once the verdict comes out in his favor. This garland of flowers also there for him. So in their head, there is no doubt. You already have celebrations planned. You've got garlands over here. You're confident he's going to remain here?
Yeah, we are confident. We will get justice. We will get the OPS as CM. Yeah.
தமிழகத்தில் நிரந்தர சிஎம் ஓபிஎஸ், ஜல்லிக்கட்டு மாவீரன் ஓபிஎஸ், அம்மாவின் உண்மை தொண்டன் ஓபிஎஸ், அம்மாவின் வழிகாட்டி ஓபிஎஸ், அவர்தான் நிரந்தரமா முதலமைச்சர்.
All right, tell me this, but if the Supreme Court verdict goes in her favor, then Sasikala has more numbers, more MLAs with her than O. Selvam. Then what will you do?
It will be proved in the house. It will be proved in the house, not in West. Okay. It will be proved in the house.
Before
கிராமத்துல கேளுங்க, அம்மாவுக்கு தான் ஓட்டு போட்டுருக்கான், சசிகலா ஓட்டு போடல, அம்மாவுக்கு தான் ஓட்டு போட்டுருக்கான், புரட்சி தலைவி அம்மாவுக்கு தான் போட்டுருக்கான்.
Even before that floor test happens, you can see, let's just see that garland once again. A massive rose garland has already been prepared. So his preparations are on even before the Supreme Court can rule one way or the other. With camera person Ankur Arora outside the residence of O. Selvam in Chennai, Padmaja Joshi for India Today.
Have all these garlands and they're celebrating, but I wonder whether these people realize that if there is a conviction, that conviction is not just against Sasikala, that conviction is also against their supreme leader, the former Jayalalitha, which essentially means that she was guilty of having disproportionate assets. I don't know. I mean, of course, O. Selvam may get to be chief minister, has a better chance of being chief minister. I don't know whether that's really reason to be celebrating. I want to go across now to Atir Khan. Atir Khan is joining us. Vishwajit Bhattacharya with us in the studio. Atir is at the Supreme Court. And I want to take our viewers through some of the scenarios. We've taken our viewers through 4 scenarios which may unfold today. We've also now been sent by someone in the Supreme Court a whole bunch of other scenarios. But first, let me take you through the 4 scenarios that we have on our table right now. Scenario number 1. The 2 judges of the Supreme Court acquit Jayalalitha and Sasikala in keeping with the High Court judgment. So essentially what the Karnataka High Court said is upheld. Sasikala is not disqualified. She immediately gets to be chief minister. She is sworn in. She has to prove a majority on the floor of the house. And she gets to take over Jayalalitha's mantle, not just as general secretary, but also as chief minister. Let's now come to scenario number 2. In this scenario, the High Court judgment is set aside. The trial court judgment is upheld, which means that her acquittal is then set aside and she stands convicted again. In such a scenario, Sasikala is disqualified for 4 plus 6, that is 10 years, and she cannot be chief minister. She at that time can try and appoint a nominee. She can appoint, she has a plan B, we've told you about that plan B. She can appoint a nominee and try and install that person as the new chief minister. Let's come now to scenario number 3. The Supreme Court remands the matter back to the High Court, which essentially in simple language means sends the matter back to the High Court over the issue of the supposed mathematical error in the High Court's judgment. If there is a mathematical error, then the Supreme Court will ask the High Court judge to resolve that. In such a scenario, Sasikala's conviction for the time being stands revived. She can no longer be chief minister. She is disqualified for 10 years. Let's now come to scenario number 4. Supreme Court delivers a hung verdict. In such a scenario, both judges are split on the order. the matter is referred to a 3-judge bench. The High Court, the Supreme Court Chief Justice has to pick a third judge. The entire matter will have to be reheard, which means it's going to take a lot of time. They can take a couple of years. Meanwhile, Sasikala gets to be Chief Minister. She can be sworn in because there is no immediate case against her. Now, these are the 4 scenarios I put out to you earlier. But we want to delve on scenario number 4, which is the 2 judges actually having a different opinion. And if you actually delve deeper into that, there are different things that can happen. I want to take our viewers through what somebody who's in the court has said in various scenarios about what may happen if the 2 judges have a different opinion. What happens if both judges convict the accused? Then the outcome is a conviction. What happens if both judges acquit the accused? Then again the outcome is an acquittal. What happens if one judge convicts and the other judge acquits? Then the case will be referred to a 3rd judge. What happens if the case is sent back to the Karnataka High Court for fresh disposal of the appeal? Then the Karnataka High Court will have to relook at the fresh case. Then what happens if one judge convicts and the other one sends it back to the Karnataka High Court? Then the case will be sent to a 3rd judge. What happens if one judge acquits while the other one sends the case back to the Karnataka High Court? Then again, the case will be sent back to a 3rd judge. So within those 4 primary possibilities, whole bunch, Mr. Bishwajit, of a whole bunch of secondary possibilities as well.
Absolutely. Until and unless the Karnataka High Court judgment is upturned decisively
By both judges.
by a clear verdict, then Sasikala is out. Then that means Sasikala is acquitted. Now, in case 2 judges give a conflicting view, that does not amount to upturning the Karnataka High Court judgment which acquits her, then the matter is referred to a larger bench by the Supreme Court, and larger bench, when it ultimately decides, then it may take some time. Then also the field is clear for Sasikala. So therefore, until and unless we have a clear-cut verdict by both the judges of the Supreme Court of convicting her, I think Sasikala is likely to get a reprieve. If it is a split verdict of 1-1, split verdict
And
of...
you're essentially saying, and we want to put this for our viewers, that the possibility, and this is being spoken of in the Supreme Court increasingly, that the possibility that there be a different opinion between the 2 judges is high because, and we don't know whether it is the case, but the possibility exists because it's been 8 months and they haven't come up with an order yet. If there was no difference, they'd probably be able to come up with an order
Which means something
sooner.
is weighing in their minds. That means the matter may not be all that crystal clear. And in case there is a doubt at this stage, even a fraction of a doubt, then the criminal jurisprudence is settled that the benefit of doubt goes in favor of the accused. So until and unless it is a clear-cut decisive verdict, in fact convicting the accused number 2, 3 and 4, that is Sasikala and 2 other persons, I think the matter then will be referred to a larger bench. So I am expecting the very fact that the judges have...
Okay, she's 1 second.